Nivea says August 24th. She says it like a prayer. She says it like a dare. She says it like she's daring the timeline to call her bluff one more time. And somewhere between the 72 more days and the I'm not even big, you start to wonder if she's counting down to a baby or counting down to the moment she finally wins an argument she's been losing in public for months. Y'all, something about this one is different. She's calmer. Too calm. The kind of calm that only shows up when somebody's either telling the absolute truth or has rehearsed a lie until it stopped feeling like one. And before I get 1 inch deeper into this, tap that subscribe, hit the bell, drop a like if you've been riding with us through every twist of this saga. We're about to pull this whole live apart frame by frame, and trust me, you don't want to catch the second half without the first. So here's the anchor. June 13th, 2026. Nivea, Blueface longtime partner and mother of his son, goes live on TikTok solo. No Blueface in frame. Her mother's sitting beside her. Her son's wandering through the shot. The setting is domestic, almost mundane. The content, anything but. She declares, flatly, repeatedly, that her due date is August 24th, that she's hitting 30 weeks on June 15th, and that the chat dragging her is, quote, jealous of the life that her and her mom have now. TMZ coverage on a couple has been near weekly since spring, and this live drops right into the middle of an already loud cycle. Now watch the evidence. The quotes. Raw. Unfiltered. Straight from her mouth on that live. I'm 29 weeks. On Monday, I'll be 30 weeks. Direct, unprompted. Repeated multiple times across the stream. Okay. Noted. My due date is August 24th, which is basically going into September. That one I had to rewind. She said it herself. August 24th lands in August, not September. Unless she's mentally already factoring in a late delivery, which is its own kind of tell. Her mom, on the same live, profane clips circulating on the Shade Room's comment threads. They jealous of the life that her and Nia have now. Also called segments of the chat, rug babies. Dry amusement only. Then this, Nivea, reacting to a comment suggesting Blueface bled her during his Twitch stream the night prior. He ain't bleaching, just a whole bunch of boots and hot mess. Real talk, I read that 3 times. Because bled in the chat doesn't mean what she's pretending it means. The chat was using it the way the internet uses it. Exposed her, dragged her, aired her business on his stream. She knows that. She answered a different question. That's not an accident. And finally, the one nobody's playing back enough, her own line. You want me to be messy? You want me to get on here and bleed people? Is that what y'all want me to do? Silence. That one speaks for itself. Let's stitch the timing together, because the timing is the part everyone scrolled past. The night before this live, Blueface is on Twitch. Nivea calls in. Words are exchanged. The chat is chat, not hers. Clips the exchange and runs with it across Hip Hop DX recap blogs and X within hours. By the next morning, the narrative is set. He bled her on stream. Then she goes live. Solo. With her mother. With her son in frame. And the very first thing she has to address isn't the pregnancy. It's the Twitch fallout. That's the part. Hold on, back up. That's the part that matters. She didn't open the live to celebrate 30 weeks. She opened it to do damage control on a fight from the night before, and then used the pregnancy countdown as the structural spine of her defense. The deleted then reposted anatomy, skin she keeps referencing. I done went to the OBGYN, my anatomy scanned and everything, and posted that myself. Do the math. Was uploaded, pulled, and re-uploaded over the span of about 10 days in May, per the timestamp trail fans archived on forums. That's not a casual edit. That's a strategic republish. And the Jaden Alexei's pregnancy claim Chrisean dropped the same week. That sucked half the oxygen out of the room. Convenient. The timing of her counter-broadcast lands exactly when the algorithm's attention is split. I'm not saying it was planned. I'm saying I've watched this exact choreography before. Watch her hand. Across the live. Every time the chat brings up Blueface, her son, or the due date in the same sentence, she pivots, physically pivots, toward her mother or toward the child. Not toward the camera. That's not random. That's a deflection tell, and it's repeated at minimum 4 times in the clip Hot New Hip Hop trimmed for their write-up. Listen to the way she says, August 24th. Every single time. Same cadence. Same pitch drop on 24th. Like she said it into a mirror. People who are genuinely tracking a pregnancy week by week say the date differently depending on context. Sometimes excited. Sometimes tired. Sometimes annoyed. Hers is flat. Identical. Every single time. And then the line that broke my brain a little. If I'm due August 24th, y'all do the math. The math. What math, sis? August 24th minus 40 weeks is November 17th, 2025, which would put her conception window roughly mid-November, which is, and this is where I had to actually open a notes app, right around the period when she and Blueface were reportedly back on, and a handful of X timeline reconstructions. So the math, ironically, works, which makes the over-insistence on the math the strange part. Truth doesn't usually need to be repeated 5 times in one sitting. That's the thing nobody's saying out loud. She's not lying. She's overproving. And those are different problems. TMZ framed alive as Blueface X doubles down on due date. Past tense relationship. Notice that. The Shade Room ran it as Nia goes live with her mom amid pregnancy doubts. Neutral. Pregnancy forward. No Blueface in the framing at all. And the blog ecosystem, the smaller recap channels, the Twitch clip aggregators, leaned into Blueface bled Nia on stream as the headline, with the pregnancy as a footnote. 3 outlets. 3 completely different protagonists. TMZ centers the relationship status. Shade Room centers the mother and child. The clip economy blogs center the humiliation. Now here's the Steelman, because somebody in the comments is already typing it. Maybe she's just a pregnant woman venting on a live, and y'all are reading too much into it. Fair. Genuinely fair. Pregnant women don't owe the internet a press kit. But, and this is where it falls apart, she's the one who turned the due date into a structural argument. She invoked the math. She invoked the OBGYN. She invoked the anatomy scan. She invoked the countdown. She built the case. We're just reading the case file she handed us. The energy in the room just shifted, didn't it? Here's the read nobody's gonna print. The mainstream take is that this is a messy couple, a messy pregnancy, a messy live, and the internet's being cruel. Cute. Tidy. Wrong. What this actually is, and stay with me, is loyalty economics in real time. Nivea isn't fighting the chat. She's fighting for positional leverage in a relationship where the public narrative has been weaponized against her for years. Every time Blueface goes live, he controls the frame. Every time he tweets, he controls the frame. Every time Chrisean rock orbits back into the conversation, she controls the frame. Nivea has been the quiet variable in a story where everybody else is loud. So what does she do? She builds a countdown. A countdown the internet can't argue with because it's medically verifiable on a specific date. August 24th. Once that date hits, or doesn't, every previous accusation collapses or hardens. She's not defending herself in the present. She's pre-staging her vindication for August. That's not chaos. That's chess on a chessboard nobody else realized was set up. And the opposition, the chat that called her mom's family rug babies, the trolls insisting 50 Cent looks good for Nia, the camp that's been claiming the pregnancy isn't real for months, they're all about to get caught flat-footed. Because the calendar doesn't lie. The calendar doesn't subtweet. The calendar doesn't go on Twitch. Allegedly, of course. Reportedly. For the dates she herself has stated on stream. A couple jabs while we're here. For the camp insisting she's faking it for clout. Explain the anatomy scan. For the camp insisting Blueface bled her on Twitch. Explain why she's the one running cooler on camera the next day. For the camp claiming her mother's a problem. Ask why her mother's the only adult in the room, calling out the chat, in plain English. And for the camp throwing 50 Cent into the equation, be serious for 10 seconds. Some of y'all aren't analyzing. You're projecting. Now look forward. By late August, expect the countdown to detonate one of 2 ways. And watch how fast the same accounts dragging her right now pivot. If August 24th delivers, the receipts arrive in the form of a birth announcement. And every she's faking account either deletes, deflects, or reinvents itself as having always supported her. The cycle is predictable. We've seen it on this same channel 6 times this year. Don't be shocked when the second path plays out instead. A late delivery slipping into early September, which she's already softened the ground for by saying August 24th, which is basically going into September. That's not a slip. That's prepositioning. The opposition's specific failure here is they're banking on a no-baby outcome, and the actual likely outcome is just a slightly late one, which gives her a full win and them nothing to grab onto. And the 5-year aftershock. This is the part that matters. The Blueface Nivea Chrisean triangle stops being a tabloid arc and starts being a case study. Once this baby is here, custody, co-parenting, and the public versus private split become the next half-decade of content. The relationship as a story ends. The relationship as an institution. Co-parents tied by a child. Lawyers tied by filings. Brands tied by association begins. 5 years from now, the chat that mocked her this week will be the same audience tuning in to watch the documentary. Bet on the long game. The long game always wins. That's the breakdown. Subscribe, ring the bell, drop your read in the comments. I want to see who called what, because August is closer than you think and the receipts are already in the mail.